Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and I know I haven't posted a video in a while. I've been on vacation, or as they say in the UK, on holiday. I took a road trip up the coast, west coast of Michigan, on Lake Michigan coast, and up into Mackinac Island, into Ontario, over to Algonquin Provincial Park, and then Ottawa, the capital, and down through New York, through the Thousand Islands, went to the Finger Lakes, Cooperstown, and I hope they don't kick me out of the VC, but I actually did not go to a record store on my jaunt. But anyway, I needed to do this contest because I think it ends this weekend for my good friend Steve at All the World's a Stage. Very generous. He sends out a lot of VCLT, but he is celebrating having 500 subscribers, which he has more than that now. And this relates to having 500 subscribers, in that he wants us to rank the Led Zeppelin studio albums and then somehow tie that into 500, which I've attempted to do here. So let's get to it. Right now, the Led Zeppelin had 8 studio albums, and the last 2 are probably going to be what a lot of other people have shown, but I still think they're very good albums. And of course, my number 8 is going to be, I don't have the brown cover unfortunately, but In Through the Outdoor, which came out in 1979. And of course, we all know the Swan label. But yeah, In Through the Outdoor, it has a little rockabilly tune with Hot Dog, which some people don't like, but I like. And some people don't like Fool in the Rain, and I guess they think it's a little too popish, but I love that song as well. And In the Evenings, another great tune. So that's my number 8. My number 7 is going to be Presents. Love the old-time photos that they have on here. Kind of like Polaroid shots. But on this one, Achilles' Last Stand, it's got that 10-minute kind of sonic musical exploration I love. Nobody's Fault But Mine, the adapted Blind Willie Johnson song, and For Your Life, probably my favorites on there. I will say this about the next 6 albums. I think they're all 5 stars. It was hard trying to place them, but I did the best I could. So my number 6 is going to be Led Zeppelin 3. That's got the little, this is a reissue. It's got the little, If I Can Make It Move. Oh, well, never mind. But yeah, it's a great album. It's a little more acoustic. That's the Way. I love that song. It's actually one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs. Is That's the Way. It's an acoustic gem, I think. Then you got the Immigrant Song, a great rockin' tune, and Gallows Pole, which, great take on a traditional tune, I think. But love this album. Like I say, it's a 5-star one, but it's coming out in at number 6 for me. Right, coming in at number 5, Led Zeppelin 2. Love the inside artwork on that one. But it probably has my favorite Led Zeppelin tune, and Whole Lot of Love. Just love that song. What Is and Should Never Be, another great one. And Heartbreaker with the great Jimmy Page guitar. So, yeah, number 5, Led Zeppelin 2, which brings me to number 4, which is going to be Houses of the Holy. Love this cover. I've actually been to the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, where this is, although there weren't a bunch of naked girls walking up the steps. And this one has, of course, the catchy, I don't think there's anything wrong with the catchy Jamaica tune. I love that song. And No Quarter, kind of the centerpiece of the album, and Over the Hills and Far Away. Love the progressions on that tune. But yeah, number 4, House of the Holy from 1973. All right, number 3 is from 1969, the debut. What a great debut. And when you hear that beginning track, Good Times, Bad Times, as soon as you hear that, you knew you were in for a great musical experience. It's also got Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, kind of a fresh, invigorating version of an old folk tune. Dazed and Confused, Communication Breakdown. This is chock full of great tunes. Their debut, which is going to be my number 2. My number 3, I'm sorry. All right, my number 2, and the only one I don't actually have on vinyl, is going to be Physical Graffiti. It was one of the tragedies of which I didn't have many, going to CDs, and I sold, I guess I saw how much the vinyl album was worth, and I sold this one. This is one I did have on vinyl back in the day, and I sold it on eBay, and I just have not replaced it yet, but I eventually will. But yeah, Physical Graffiti, double album, so you get twice as much Led Zeppelin, which may have helped it in its ranking. Trampled Underfoot, you got Kashmir, In My Time of Dying, the Blind Willie Johnson song, and Boogie with Stu, just chock full of great tunes. That's my number 2. And number 1, which most popular for a lot of people, and I think there's a reason, and that's my number 1, is Led Zeppelin, also known as Led Zeppelin 4. But it's a great album. I don't know if there is a better first 4 songs on an album than on this one, when you got Black Dog to Rock and Roll to Battle of Evermore and then the Stairway to Heaven. That's just hard to beat that. And most people know how big a Who fan I am. And I think this is one album that can compete with Who's Next as the best straight up rock and roll album. But yeah, that's my number 1, is Led Zeppelin, or Led Zeppelin 4, however you want to call it. So the second part of this contest was to somehow connect Led Zeppelin and their studio albums with 500. And I did the best I could. So I looked at the album charts for Sweden, because Steve has Swedish lineage. I also used Norway, since I was in Norway this time last year. And then I looked at the US charts as well. So the first Led Zeppelin album was 14 Norwegian chart, 11 Swedish, 10 US. Second Led Zeppelin album, 2 Norway, 13 Sweden, 1 US. Led Zeppelin 3, 3 Norway, 14 Sweden, 1 US. Led Zeppelin 4, or Untitled, or Led Zeppelin. Number 3 in Norway, number 8 in Sweden, number 2 in the US. Houses of the Holy, number 4, Norway, 15 Sweden, 1 US. Physical Graffiti, 4 Norway, 7 Sweden, 1 US. Presence, 4 Norway, 5 Sweden. That's the one that did the best in Sweden, and 1 US. And In Through the Outdoor, 14 Norway, 6 Sweden, 1 US. You add those all together, that's 145. And then I looked at the singles and how they did on the US charts. And this is the top 100, the Billboard Top 100. From 1969, Good Times, Bad Times, number 80. 1969, Whole Lotta Love, number 4. That was their best charting single in the US. On the flip side was Living, Loving, Maid, which came in at number 65. Immigrant Song in 1970, number 16. Black Dog, number 15 in 1971. 1972, Rock and Roll, number 47. 1973, Over the Hills and Far Away, number 51. Jamaica in 1973, number 20. Trampled Underfoot, number 38 in 1975. In 1979, their last charting single, Fool in the Rain, number 21. That comes out to 357. You add 145 to 357, you get 502. And you look, and the 2 Led Zeppelin albums that didn't make number 1 on the US charts are their debut, which only made it to 10, and Led Zeppelin 4 only made it to number 2. So you take those 2 off, you get 500. Will Hunting helped me on this ciphering, as well as Jethro Bodine, as you can tell. So anyway, I'm going to put a link below to his original video, and I hope everyone's doing well, and congratulations, Steve, on over 500 subscribers.